COVID-19 has come. It is not so fun. We're caught in between. This is not a dream, but we're making it work. We're making it work. Let's get to work. Yay. I think that's better.
Is this working?
Yeah, I think so. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. But you know, the strange thing is that because you're talking to you, then it feels like I'm not really looking into the camera, but is that how it works, or where should I look?
Look into the camera. Are you looking into the camera now?
No, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, look at the camera.
All right, like there's.
Yeah,
yes.
And to be honest, it will still look a little bit weird. And I've watched a lot of web series this week, and a lot of people, it's how the cameras are built in the computers. So for instance, like if a late night show host calls someone on Skype or Zoom to talk, they're never actually really looking at the camera. So it's okay. And the only reason that like late night show hosts are able to look in the camera is they have an actual video camera. So
yeah, true.
It's interesting. So I'm not too worried. I was like really caught up in my first 2 interviews about like being perfectionist, and now I'm like, yeah, but everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah, true.
That's
okay. How it works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
this is actually really nice you're doing this. I think it's a very cool idea to do this.
Thanks. It's also keeping me busy, and like you said, it's like one step at a time.
Exactly.
Content wise, and I'll see how it evolves. So my goal
is just having fun.
Exactly.
I think that's the most important thing. I realize it myself as well. I'm just doing things that I like doing and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing, just to have, especially now, just to have fun and enjoy yourself. And
yeah, try to not take yourself too seriously also. Then
exactly.
And like I think the realization that we're all kind of in this together is a really big one. So yeah,
it reminds me, there is this song, right, where like we're all in this together, or something like that, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, nobody's singing the "one is the loneliest number" anymore, because that's not true.
No. That's funny. Yeah, I like that. It's still a bit morning, so my voice always needs to warm up a bit in the morning. I'm actually a morning person.
Yeah.
But my voice, for some reason, you know, I was a teacher for a couple of years, and the first 2 hours of the day, when I was teaching, my voice, you know, I had once like a supervisor, like checking everything, like everything was gonna, you know, if everything was all right and stuff like that. And then, you know, they all commented on my voice. But yeah, I said, I think, like, you know, I don't know why that is.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's just a crack in my voice. Like, you know, when the morning, you know, in the morning, I always sound a bit like a dude, you know, and then during the day, I turn female again.
Well, that's like in Friends. You remember Phoebe Buffay when she had she was really sick one time and she was singing like Smelly Cat, and she's like, "Oh, I sound like this sexy smoker chick now."
Yeah, exactly. That's what I have in the morning.
Yeah, so that's perfect.
But then it goes away. So
yeah, I wake up early, but like my brain doesn't turn on till like 9, which is interesting. So that's why I in a way I'm a morning person, but my brain doesn't catch up. So
yeah, but I like that you just said that, like, all right, I really need that half an hour that really makes a difference for me. I really like that you're just being honest about that. And yeah, I think that's really cool. Set boundaries.
Thank you. Yeah, I noticed for myself there's a switch. So for some reason at 8:30, I just start to light up. Like as I'm doing my hair, like, so I take like 30 minutes to get ready, and it just like it lights up and it starts. So by 9, I'm like, yes, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah. So I used to, in my
I like that.
try to get in at 8:30, and I noticed that I wouldn't be able to actually work till 9. It's very funny.
Yeah. I think that should also be like I know how it works in the corporate world, that you have to work from what is like 9 to 5 jobs, but I think it's such a waste of time, and I don't think it really works like that. I hate that you need to be. That's why I wanted to, be my own boss. Because I think, like, I think I can decide for myself when I'm going to be productive or not. And I think if you sit there, especially like in an office with more people, I get distracted very easily, and I
Yeah.
just, so then I'm like, yeah, I can sit there for 8 hours, but maybe I will work for only, productively only for 2.
Ooh. So, okay, you just kind of inspired me because a lot of questions came up into my head after. So, I'm doing this series to like look at resilience, and at the same time, I'm also like, well, where does the flow conversation go? And you're hitting on something that
Hmm.
I'm actually going to be that I'm trying to address in my little web series that I'm doing of like documenting like daily learnings, which is like that
Oh,
flow
cool.
of energy. So my first daily learning was perfectionism, then it was like the flow of energy, and still today is it is going to touch on that flow of energy because I find that it's really difficult to I have a decade of like this is how you are supposed to work in my head.
Yeah, true.
And what actually works and what doesn't. So I was thinking for this, I will ask you some questions, but it's very possible that I might go into like, what tips do you have, or what is your biggest learning of work starting for yourself? Why did you start for yourself? So I think I might riff a little bit on those questions, if that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
So I know you have a thingy at 10. So what I'm gonna do is just start because I try to keep the interviews around like 20 minutes itself. I do a
Hmm.
quick intro and then we have the interview, and then separately I'll record a small outro of like my reflection.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that
Yeah.
will be like a day or two later when I have like can take some space and then watch it again.
That's cool. I really like that you're doing this. Quite
Thanks.
curious also to hear, and see the rest of the interviews. So later on, maybe, when you're
Yeah,
finished with all of it. I think it's
thank you.
cool.
Well, it's funny because my first two, yeah, you can really see that I'm just like starting, and now I'm starting to get better at it. So you can like see the progression
Yeah.
of
Yeah, but that's, I think, really cool, because yesterday I started with like going live on Instagram to
mhm.
have like real talk with people, just, entrepreneurs, but also, everyone who feels like, I would just want to talk, because I think especially now you see, the perfect Instagram feed, especially entrepreneurs, I think. They really want to show, the things they're doing right now, and you feel a lot of pressure, I think, like you
Yes.
need to be online right now. So I really wanted to have like just a real talk with someone, and see what's going on, inside, like how are you feeling, what's happening to you, do you feel anxious about things like your business, um, and like yesterday I was like, I'm just going live on Instagram with someone, and yeah, yesterday you can really see like, oh, I was a bit nervous. I was like, oh my god, like it's still live on Instagram. But then again, it's so cool because you're having a conversation, actually just the two of us. um, and then of course you see that people are watching, and sometimes you see a comment or stuff like that, but it's, you really feel connected, and
Yeah.
it felt like you were just having a conversation with someone, and especially, a little bit on a deeper level, because, the chit chat, I'm I can do that with everyone, and I really wanted to see, like, what is going on, because there's so many people who are having, anxiety and stress, and also about their businesses, like what am I going to do, and how will I survive, and also with like in families, and they are anxious about their health and stuff like that. So, but it was, you can really see me, like I saw myself back, of course, and I was like, sometimes you see me listening but also thinking,
Yeah.
I'm listening to the other person, and I see myself, like, and my best friend, she said, like, you were thinking a lot. I could just, she says, it was totally normal, but I can see, this wrinkle coming up, like, yeah, it was really
Yeah.
funny.
Exactly. And then I I'll ask you this, I think, again during the interview if it comes up organically. But how do you squash that like perfectionism? Because you rewatch it and you're like, I can. There's like this critical voice that comes up. It's like,
Yes,
how do you
all the
not
time.
let that influence your creativity with this?
Because I think for the last, well, I think most of my life that I'm aware of, I have been a perfectionist. And I think it's a story I tell myself because I'm basically just afraid of, to fail. And the fear of judgment of others. And I think, I'm turning 30 this year. And I really feel like I'm so done with that, because it's holding me back. I cannot do the things that I actually want to do because I'm always afraid of what other people are gonna say or think. Or and of course some people have, they told me things in the past, and like the thing is like, oh no, you're talking too fast, you're too enthusiastic, you're this, you're that. And and now I really feel like I just want to have fun. I've been so serious for the last couple of years. And 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 you see, also a lot of, I could see my negative way of thinking, and I always thought like I'm a real positive person. But when it comes to myself, oh my god, I've been so negative. And I just don't want that anymore. I just want to do the things that I love doing. And I think that feeling is now bigger than the fears that I actually have. And people are going to judge you anyway, especially on social media. They're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, so why not have fun in the process?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, like, yesterday was my first live video on Instagram. And after that, I also said, like, if you want to unfollow me, just click on that button and you can unfollow me. It's fine. It's totally fine. But I'm not gonna let other people decide how I'm gonna live my life.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think
hardcore.
finally that little fire, and also because I'm so ready, because there are so many people on Instagram posting perfect videos and showing us like, oh my god, my business is thriving, everything is like and then when you actually talk to them in real life, it's like, oh, but I'm really anxious, and I'm my business and I'm like, cut the crap, people. We don't have to do this. Of course, you don't need to say like, oh, I don't earn any money with my business, but there is this huge difference going on. And especially now, why not say like, the real talk, like how we feel, because that's human, right? It's
Yeah.
just being human. So that's, I think now, and what I also realized, I always thought that like I'm the only one, and I'm not.
No, you're not.
That,
Everything that you're saying, I completely 100% recognize for myself. And
yeah,
it's
see, and
what's held me back and it's still in a way holding me back.
yeah, and I think like, why is it? And also I think the problem is sometimes because it's funny, the most positive reactions I always get are actually from men. They're like, oh yeah, that's quite cool, you're doing it. And the most negative ones are actually from females, from other women.
Hmm.
They're like, they always, yeah, I'm not sure how to explain that, but they're like, oh, so you're now on Instagram, oh, so you're now posting these videos, so. And I'm like, yeah, so yeah. And in the beginning, of course, yeah, you look really uncomfortable doing this. And I'm like, yeah, well, have you tried this before,
Yeah.
making a video? So there is some kind of, I don't know what it is, but jealousy or whatever, like you feel like, oh, I want to do it myself, but I see someone else doing it, so I'm not doing it. And I was like, everybody, you can think what you want. Also, I hopefully, especially this younger generation, I'm an auntie, and like I want my niece to feel like I can do whatever I want, because I see that happening also with especially those young girls. They if they make a picture on like they all use TikTok, right?
Yeah.
That's booming. But if
Yeah.
I see her taking a picture of herself, she's doing like this. And I'm
Yeah.
like 8 years old. I said, why are you doing this? Yeah, but everybody's. I said, you don't have to do, just be yourself.
Well,
Just be.
what's interesting, I'm not a paid professional sociologist, but I did study a tiny bit in college, and
Mm,
I continue to read a lot about the about different groups of people, and how we were psychologically raised to be within a certain group, and all that stuff. And one thing that has been really fascinating to me is I think women are, what's passed down to us, even on a very subconscious level, insecurity, and
Hmm.
have to be a certain way in order to be uh, successful. And what that does is it embeds perfectionism, and it embeds at the end, at the bottom layer of that, lack of self-confidence. And
Yeah.
I think it will take many generations
Yeah, me
to
too.
breed this out of women, to be honest. Because for instance, with your niece, she's picking it up from other people, or she's picking it up from the internet, or she's picking it up from whoever is around her, right? And you can tell her, and she'll consciously at some point recognize, okay, maybe I can behave in a different way. But the fact is as long as everybody else in your circle of influence, or your circle, your tribe, whatever, is behaving in such a way,
Yeah.
makes it very difficult to overcome that barrier. And no matter what, you keep passing something down on a very subconscious level to the next of kin. And so it will take generations, I think, for women to feel this intrinsic self-confidence that, at least on the surface, that we see from men. So
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think, well said, well said. Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah, I think that is. And that's why because a couple of days ago, I woke up in the middle of the night and I really thought, like, I want to have these live conversations with people,
Yeah.
just, to get to know them and see, the person behind the perfect Instagram feed, just to see what is going on. Um, and also for myself, because I'm, like, holding back for some reason. And I felt that for, many years, but I never knew what it really was. And then I always thought, like, because people always talk about, like, you have to find your life purpose, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know what that is. And I was always feeling like, oh, what am I not on the right path? And now I'm like, I can do whatever I want, and I can change if I want to. It's fine. I don't have to fit in this box.
Yeah, and putting people in boxes, I think, is what we default to, because it helps us to understand better. Helps us
True.
to understand someone else better. And yet I'm finding more and more, talking to you, talking to many others, that we have there's many of us that do not fit in boxes. And in fact, I don't know any single person that does. And I think for me, one of the reasons I'm struggling so much with my story, even after our initial conversation where you're trying to help me out of what my service is to offer, is because I'm trying to put it in a box. And the fact is that I
Yeah,
have
true. Yeah,
several strengths and talents, and that they don't fit neatly into one box. And
exactly.
it's trying to figure out, okay, but then how do you make that work? How do you explain that to somebody so you don't understand? And that's a process. um
True.
I don't have a way, like, magically, even with almost a decade experience of marketing, come up with like a tagline for that. It's because it's much easier to sell a product than a person.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but I think that's, I after our conversation, I was also very inspired, because sometimes I think I'm the only one, like, I don't know what I really want, and I want more things, and I also have different talents. And for me, it was always the struggle between, I help Dutch people, improve their English, and that they feel confident enough, to actually speak English.
Yeah.
um and I know for myself, I'm not a native speaker, I know that. And that was also the thing, you always get, if you want to work at certain university, they always ask for native speakers. But the thing is, I think my writing is really good, my grammar knowledge is amazing, I can tell you that. But my speaking skills, of course, because I wasn't raised bilingual, I'm not a native speaker of English. But then again, that I know how it feels to learn this language. And and English, of course, well, I don't have to tell you, but it is the world language. And Dutch is only spoken here in the Netherlands, or
Yeah.
like a little bit in Belgium, but that's it. And especially business wise. But then I always thought, like, oh no, my speaking skills are not, oh, my accent isn't that, of an American or of British. So I was holding back all the time. And I was like, why? This is like, and the more I actually talk English, the better it becomes.
Yeah.
But
Funny
I
how
was
that
just
works.
too, yeah, but I was just too afraid. And like, and now I really know what other people are feeling. So I can actually help them.
Yeah. So this
So
is a
it's, yes,
yeah, so
you go.
this is a really good bridge, and to the introduction to
Yes.
my show. And it's funny because I probably will keep part of what we're talking about already. Uh, but I really am happy to have you on here,
Ah,
Kimberly. And we only met about 2 weeks ago virtually because my
yes.
friend Anna tagged me in a post and that you were willing to help entrepreneurs during this time because you're going through your own
Hmm.
stuff, which I would like you to talk about. And we talked, and you kind of helped me see that maybe one of my service offerings could be storytelling and how to package it. Well, this is one way that I'm doing storytelling. So this is what came out of it. Is
Yes. And really cool.
Thank you. So I'm trying to get entrepreneurial stories out there about how we're handling the yeah. How are we navigating uncertainty? How are we choosing to focus to continue on, like to talk about resilience and what it is it that we see. So we talked a little bit earlier about everything is going online and there's so much crowdedness on social media, and how do you maintain that authentic voice?
Hmm.
And I would love to pick up on that again. So, but first, Kimberly, could you introduce yourself and yeah, tell us what it is you do?
All right. So, of course, my name is Kimberley, and born and raised in the Netherlands. I traveled a lot throughout my life, and that's when. Well, oh wait, because when I was 11, no, 10 actually, I went to Australia for the first time with my family, and that's when I realized I wanted to speak English. I told my parents, like, I asked them, like, what are they saying? Am I like, what is it? You know, those sounds, you know, they sound, you know, really sound like music to my ears. And my mom said, well, that's English. And I said, I want that. I want that. So, because that's a good introduction to my passion for the English language, because I am a language coach. I help Dutch entrepreneurs to be more confident in speaking English. Because yeah, it is the world language, and especially in business, because also the Netherlands, you know, we are very international. And yeah, English is going to help us because Dutch is of course only spoken here and a little bit in Belgium, but that's basically it. Yeah, and I really want to help other people, you know, to get that confidence back, because many of them, I realize, they have a very negative experience at school. They were laughed at, or they were told, like, no, your English is not good enough, or oh no, you're never going to make it. And I just want to inspire them, because I know how it feels to learn a second language, because I had to put a lot of effort in it. Well, you know, because you're trying to speak Dutch and learn Dutch. But it's really hard work. But yeah, in the end, if you, like, you know, with dedication and passion, you get there. And, you know, you can travel all around the world. You can, you know, speak English everywhere. You know, it's the language of business and tourism and everything. So for us, I think Dutch people, it's very valuable to speak English.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
what I'm doing actually. And I'm also doing, yeah, like, I love social media. So I'm posting the things, you know, what I am going through as a new entrepreneur, but also, you know, my own development as a person. So I'm sharing my things on Instagram. And yeah, that's it for now.
Well, so tell me, I thought your story was really interesting. Tell me how your life has changed since this crisis. Because you were an entrepreneur before, you were helping people with English,
Yeah,
but, or and?
but yes. So what I was doing, I was teaching, like, at companies, like, only offline. So I got in my car, drove to a company, and then I was teaching English to them and helping them out. And also, you know, also with, like, a bit of, like, how can you, for example, go internationally with your company? How is that, you know, how can you arrange that? And what are the possibilities? And then I help employees, of companies with their English. And then I was planning on leaving to Bonaire because that's where my parents live. And I really thought like, all right, I'm gonna, because I really wanted to go to the United States actually after that. So I was like, okay, first I'm going to Bonaire for a couple of months, just relax and see what I can do online, because I felt a bit, like online, I wasn't sure, like, can you still feel that energy, the positive vibes? Because I always get, I always receive, comments after my teachings that people said like, oh, we had so much fun and such good energy, and I really felt it. And for me, that is the most important thing, that you can feel that, that you, and also for me, because I think I see so much potential then when people, try and learn English, and you see them growing. And I really like that vibe. And then, this whole coronavirus thing happened. And then my flight got canceled because I was leaving actually on the 18th March. And then it was 18th, yeah, that's on a Wednesday. And the Saturday before that, I received the email like, your flight is canceled. And I was like, no, but I just sold my house.
Yeah.
So I was like, how is this happening? Just because it's just, a few days in between, like it's like a few months, all right, but a few weeks, but like it's a few days. How is this possible?
Yeah.
So then I was really like, okay, so what's next? So I stayed at my friend's house for, a week. But then I thought I really need, my own space. I really need to figure out what I'm going to do, because I finished all my offline courses. And now, even if I wanted to teach offline, it's not possible.
No.
I'm not allowed to. So I was like, what the heck is happening? So yeah, then another friend of mine, she works at a campsite. So I asked her like, do you maybe have like something available for me? And they luckily had, because yeah, it's empty here. So now I actually have my own space again. And yeah, so I'm a little bit stuck in my own country.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
want
and
to leave.
that's a frustrating place to be, because you had made these plans, and now all of a sudden, in a matter of days, as you said, it just like went up in smoke. And I can
Yeah.
really relate, because I was also making like my business proposition off of like offline teaching, and I always have been hesitant on online, because it's the same thing. You get an energy from people in person. And so now
True. Yeah.
with your situation, it's like heightened, in the sense that you're not moving to Bonaire right now, and your house was sold, and that's just crazy to me. But I'm also so admiring of your resilience. So how are you able to kind of wake up in the morning and take it as it comes? Because that's what it feels like when I talk to you.
Well, of course, it goes with ups and downs. Some days I really feel like, oh my God, why is this happening? If you feel a bit like the victim,
Yeah,
and I feel
I
like,
know.
oh, why is this, and it's not gonna happen, and I'm never gonna make that enough money, or how I'm gonna deal with this. But then other days I feel really good. Like today, I'm talking to you, I'm having this interview with you, and I'm going to follow an online class after this. And I started like my real talk on Instagram. So I think, connecting more nowadays. Even like I'm by myself here, because I'm really like this. I really like to connect with people also offline. I really need that energy. But now I actually realize that I really enjoy doing things online as well, and that actually gives me kind of a freedom I never knew I would have. I think if this coronavirus thing didn't happen, I'm not sure if I would, do things like this. And now I'm just doing it because I'm here anyway. And I'm like, I have this time. I'm by myself. Let's make, the most out of it. And now I'm actually doing this and I really enjoy it.
And
So that's so cool.
it is really cool. And so what I'm hearing from you is like, it's this for you, you're looking at it as a path to discovery.
Yeah. Because I think, I think for everyone, it's teaching you something. this, we, of course we are at home more, and we need to think, like, I think about jobs and family and our health and our world with nature, what's happening. So I think for all of us, this is a really good time to really think about the things we want to, and how we want to continue with our lives. And we see other possibilities, like also for, I see it in my own family, like my niece is, using this online platform to talk to her classmates. Think like that, we are so connected. And I think we were very disconnected in this world. Even though we had social media and things like that, we were so disconnected. And now you see also offline the things we do for each other, do groceries for someone, send someone a card, but also online. We are using these platforms. We are asking each other, like, how are you doing? Can I do something for you? Even if it's online or offline. So I think this is really, we are getting back together again.
Yeah, we're getting back together by serving, I think is what you're
Yeah.
saying, and like being authentic in that serving. And what what I see though a lot is, and I myself am posting a lot because I'm also trying to experiment. But there's still like this like social media norm of either like inundating you with all this negative stuff, or
Yeah.
not showing what life is really like for you as a person. And I'm even sometimes that I'm not excluded in any of this, right? So how do you yeah, how do you stay close to yourself in this? I think that's my question.
Well, first of all, I turn off the news. I don't watch any news. I know that sounds maybe a bit strange, because especially now people are, the media, they're posting so many things. And I, the things I hear, because my sister is really into looking at the news and watching it on television. And, she's looking it up all the time. She has all the latest information about the coronavirus, how many people died and stuff like that. So I think for her it's a way of dealing with it, and for me it's like, so then I know things, of course, because she tells me and I hear it from other people, but I don't watch the news, not on my phone, not on the television, nothing. I only, of course, when they're, when we talk about rules, what's happening in our country, but that's basically it. And that really helps me, because I know how it works. When you get yourself into these in this negative mode, then then things are happening, and you get in this negative spiral, and then it all goes downwards. And then so don't, yeah, I'm not, yeah, not watching any news at all. So I just focus on the positive things that are actually around me. I focus on love and things that I like doing. And also for social media, I'm really selective now, the people I'm actually following on social media, the stories like the Instagram stories I watch, the posts I'm gonna read, because I don't want to feel that pressure anymore.
The pressure to,
Yeah, to I don't know, to do things that I feel like, we have to do things now. We have to do this, we have to do that. No, I don't have to do anything. I just need to stay close to myself. And the only way I can do it is like doing stuff that I really like doing, getting my vibration up, or how do we say that, this positive vibration, making sure I take care of myself by eating healthy food. Meditation is really working out for me, journaling, things like that. And then, yeah, I think focus on the things that make me happy.
yeah. And then by focusing on the things that make you happy, are you learning to trust yourself more in your own journey as you figure out what your next steps are?
Yeah, I think so. Because I was a bit, like also with the online thing, now I'm actually just doing it. And before that, I was really anxious about things like, oh, if I go live on Instagram, what will people think of me? Like really that fear of judgment. And now I actually feel like, yeah, I'm just going to do whatever I think is fun to do and see what happens. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, you can just unfollow me. And I'm totally okay with that. You know, it's not that I focus on the amount of followers. I really want to connect with my followers. That's more, even if I have like 2 followers, but I can really connect with them, I'm totally fine with that. I just really in the need of that connection, and
So
not the amount of people or what people would think of me. I'm letting it go for some reason, you know, I'm letting it go.
I love it. I love it because oh my God, this is so my struggle. I do not like do things. I'm such like a on and off social media person because I just am so afraid of judgment because I have a lot of insecurity about what it is that I can bring forward, even though I know I can bring forward a lot because it doesn't fall within that box. And so what I hear from you is really encouraging, inspiring, of just like look at it more as connection. Even if you're connecting with like one person, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
great. And you're just having, and then I love that you said just have fun. Like the more that you have fun, the more that things will, yeah, that maybe you'll lose that judgment, I guess.
Yeah, and I think you will also, the more you have fun and the more you are in alignment with yourself, I think you will attract the right people. And also on social media, I think you will, because I think, yeah, I really believe in the law of attraction, that if you put that out, you know, you're getting that back.
Yeah.
And especially now, it's so important to stay put and just, you know, close to yourself and, you know, just be you. That's what you got to offer. You. That is enough. Yeah, it really is enough, just you. So if you just go live on Instagram, or you like you make a Instagram story just telling like who you are or what you up to today, you might just inspire someone. And if not, or whatever, who cares? You are you, and as long as you have fun. It's also that people, like, if you post something on Instagram, they really say, okay, look at your target group, when are they online, see, you know, the time slots. And I'm like, yeah, that could be, but I just want to post whenever I feel like it. And if everyone is at sleep, you know, fine, you know, you're sleep, whatever.
Yeah.
I just want to do the things that I like.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to tell my brain, my marketing brain. Shh,
Yeah,
the old ways of marketing out the door.
yeah,
New
yeah.
ways of
Because how is that?
marketing.
Because how is that working out for you? Then that's my
Oh,
question to myself. Like, I've been doing this for such a long time. How is that working out for myself? All right, I haven't done this. I haven't done this. I'm too scared to do this. All right.
you
So
overanalyze everything.
yes. And then you get crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think especially now, this is such a good time, you know, to get quiet and to see what you really want. And, you know, quiet in like in your mind, but then just speak up, be there. You know, that is the bravest thing you can do. Just be there, be yourself. Really, that's it.
Stand in the rink.
Yes. And I think you've got also so much to offer. So just like the things you're doing now, you know, it's really cool. You're asking people, you know, you're interviewing them, you ask really good questions and things like that. You know, that's more than enough already, even if this would only be it. But there is so much more, I know, but you know, this is so cool.
Yeah, it's really fun for me to discover and learn and grow in the process. My interview with you is different than my first interview 2 interviews ago. And just to see like what works, what doesn't. I'm also playing with lighting and playing with editing and getting too caught up in it, and also playing with my questions. And is this there's something even deeper beyond resilience that I want to focus on? I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's an exploration, and I feel a little bit reaffirmed in what you say, so that's very nice.
Yes. Yes.
Is there
That
any
is
way?
the most important thing.
Thank you. Is there any way that we can support you, Kimberly, in your journey?
In my journey, oh, I'm not sure actually. To support, well, the thing is, if someone, you know, because I think we are doing a little bit of the same. Well, you're doing it more like an interview way, and I'm just trying to go live on Instagram in a real talk.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking for that deeper connection with people, and for me especially the combination, because I always struggle between like, oh, I really need to do everything in English, or I need to do things in Dutch, and I just love that combination. And also for me, to get myself out there in public, to speak English in front of other people instead of like just a very small group that I'm teaching, because I always feel more comfortable. So this is, I think, if someone wants to support me, you can, sign up for my real talk on Instagram, and we have this awesome conversation. And
Ooh,
then I get to know someone else, because I really love to, like also your story. I think it's very inspiring. I think you will be perfect for my real talk live.
awesome.
uh,
Thank you.
yeah, and it's for me, it's really nice to, yeah, for my English as well. So I would love that. That's a very good way.
Oh, cool. Can you give a quick example before we wrap up of like one of the chats that you've had already on your live Instagram live?
Uh, well, yesterday I had actually my first Instagram live, and we talked about that was with Anna.
Ah, our mutual friend.
Yes. So that was so we would talk about different things. Like, of course, she is like an energy healer and a coach, and we were talking about energies as well, and also about like the fear of going on social media, like especially live. Like, why do we feel that way? Um, and we also talked about women and how we deal with things, and we talked about so many different things. Actually, I never knew I would talk about that like live on Instagram, because the place where I grew up, topics like these are not really discussed. We talk more about other things, and that's fine. But I really feel like I want to attract these people who want, the chit chat, that's fine. But I really want to get that deeper connection and to see what people are doing. And yeah, I think I finally found it. And this evening, actually, I'm going to talk to someone. She is a yoga teacher here in my hometown. And on Sunday I'm going to talk to a nutritionist, also in my she also lives in my hometown. So it's just really, we talk about like lifestyle and food, and yeah, so different people. I really like that. Different people, different visions of this world, different feelings, but I think it's all a little bit like people who are a little bit more aware of themselves and the things that are going on, and they are interested like in self-development. Yeah, because for me that is, yeah, very valuable also to learn from, like the things we talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I always before I left my job at Triodos, we were talking about how like the 70-20-10 rule. So 10%
Hmm.
is done in the of learning is done in the classroom, 20% is actually done through conversations like this, and 70%
Yeah,
is done through experience. And what I love about what you're doing with your Instagram, like real-time videos, is that 20%. That's also what I'm trying to do here. And so the more that we expose ourselves to what is really interesting to us using this type of medium, the more that like more seeds are planted in our own self-development, our own growth, in which we can bring forward in our experimentation and whatever it is that we do.
I
So
love that.
I think it's
Yes,
super cool.
exactly that. Yes,
Awesome.
exactly.
Well,
Yes,
thank you, Kimberly, very, very much for sitting with me
you're
today.
very welcome.
I know you have another class coming up. Um,
Yay,
so I'll let you go, but thank you. And
you're very, very, very welcome. It was my pleasure.
yay! All right. Well, I'll put your Instagram here, maybe where my hands are, if I can be that cool with editing, so that people can follow you, and maybe also we can practice Dutch together at some point.
Yeah, we can practice that. You're helping me with my confidence, like in speaking English, and I will help you in speaking Dutch and
Yes,
feel confident about it, even if
that's
it's
what I
just a
need.
tiny little bit. Yeah, and that's, I think, the most important thing. And that's what I realize myself now as well, that I'm like, it's about being confident. You don't have to be perfect, because that perfectionism is just in our way. It's not serving us anything. Really,
No,
it's just a label we put on ourselves, so we don't have to do this, or it's justified that we say, oh, I'm gonna put this on hold because it's not good enough yet. And like, it's just, perfectionism is horrible. We need to take that label off ourselves. It is enough already, and we can always improve. Of course, we can always improve.
Yeah, perfectionism hinders experimentation, and
Yes.
especially during this time. And I hope going forward, we just continue to experiment and discover. And man, oh man, can I do another podcast or interview on perfectionism at another day?
Yes, definitely. Because, and that's, also what is perfect. Like same as what is successful. We don't, that's different for all of us. And
Yeah,
maybe when you say, all right, this is 60%, maybe for me, that's already 90%.
yeah,
So
exactly.
you don't even know how that works for someone else. So I think it's just a label we put on ourselves. And it's easy also to say, right? It's easy to say, I'm a perfectionist. It's too easy. So we just need to let that go. And I think you did a fantastic job. So well done and keep on going.
Thank you. Let go of
Yes,
perfectionism and just jump into discovery. Woo!
exactly.
Awesome.
That's it. That's it.
Thank you very much. And I hope you
Yes.
have a beautiful day today. And
Thank you.
we'll talk again soon. COVID-19 has come. It is not so fun. We're caught in between. This is not a dream, but we're making it work. We're making it work. Let's get to work.